The Orlando Magic could be a future super team. Now, don't get me twisted. I'm not saying they're going to be a super team this year or the next year, and I'm not saying it's guaranteed either, but I do think that their future is extremely, extremely bright if they stay on this trajectory and players develop how I think they should develop. And I just think overall the Orlando Magic's future is one worth looking into, and that's exactly what I'm going to be getting into this video. So if that does sound interesting too, please hit the like button and subscribe. It would mean the world to me. And without further ado, without rambling too much, just get right into this video. The first thing I want to get into is going to be the fact that they actually probably have their trio of the future already solidified. As leading them, they have Paolo, and Paolo is already looking like a bona fide superstar going forward. He is only 20 years old, and he looked extremely, extremely good in his rookie year. He's looking extremely good with the US team in FIBA, and he's just all around looking like he is on the trajectory to become a superstar. He can guard almost any position, great athleticism, just great all-around scorer, tons and tons of potential, and I think that's an absolute home run of a pick. And then on side of them, they have Franz Wagner, who is I think a little bit older at 22 years old, but he has shown tons and tons of potential as well and could even be an all-star one day, and he even gives you a lot of versatility in how he plays. And both Paolo and Franz have very good size and versatility, which is extremely important in today's positionless basketball that we know today in the modern NBA. And then also they added Anthony Black this year, who is a 6'7" point guard who has great size for a point guard and is great vision, and in my opinion he's kind of a more athletic Josh Giddey. And if that doesn't sound impressive to you, you don't know who Josh Giddey is, because Josh Giddey is an extremely good player, and to get a more athletic version of him is extremely, extremely good. I think Anthony Black, although he is slept on by a lot of people, and he could have growing pains when it comes to efficiency in the scoring column, he is going to be a very solid defender. He's going to give them extremely good versatility, and his court vision is extremely high as well, on top of already having the foundation of a very, very solid offensive game. So although I think he's going to have offensive games where he struggles to score the ball, I think he's going to be able to make up for it in a lot of other ways, and he's still going to have those games where he's dropping 15, 20 points as well. That's how good I think Anthony Black could be, and I think going forward, as he gets better and better like Josh Giddey, he is only going to look better and better and improve and get closer to that star level that all three of them I think have potential to reach. And anytime you have a big three of a whole bunch of 22 and under year olds who all have star potential, makes your future extremely, extremely bright, and that is a situation almost any non-contending level team would love to be in going forward into the future, and that's the situation exactly that the Orlando Magic find themselves in currently. And then the next thing is the fact that their solid is all around very, very good and also very, very young, which is not something you can say for many rosters in the NBA, because yes, the addition of Paolo did increase their wins by 12 games, but it wasn't just Paolo that did that. They also have guys like Markelle Fultz, who just had the best season of his career last year and is still only 24 years old with extremely, extremely high potential, and I think he averaged like 14 points per game and just looked all around extremely solid. And the former #1 overall pick looks like maybe he could fulfill that potential in just a few years, as he is still a few years away from even entering his prime, and with him already showing this much potential after getting over the injury hurdles he had to get over in the beginning of his career, this shows extremely, extremely promising upside. And then you also have Wendell Carter Jr., who is still only 23 years old and is probably one of the most underrated centers in the entire NBA, as last year he averaged 15 points per game, 9 rebounds per game, 2.3 assists per game on 35% shooting from the three and 52% shooting from the field goal, and that is extremely, extremely impressive. Any center that can shoot 30+% from the three-point line is extremely valuable in today's NBA, add on top of the fact that he can still score the ball from basically anywhere on the court, and he's a solid defender and rebounder still. That is extremely valuable, as it adds tons and tons of versatility, which fits the mold of this team when it comes to their big three. They're all about versatility, and that is exactly what Wendell Carter provides. And like I said, he is only 23 years old, and he still has tons and tons of potential and room for growth as time goes on. Then you also have Jonathan Isaac, who, if he can ever stay healthy, which is a ginormous if, I understand, he could be a great two-way player. He's already one of the better defenders in the league when he is healthy, and he just has to get that offense as well. And once again, fitting the theme of versatility, he is a 6'11" power forward / small forward that can literally guard any position on the court due to his size, and his offensive game also has tons of potential, and even he isn't that old either. I think he's like 25, 26, something like that. He's still fairly young in NBA terms and has very, very high upside. And then even some of the lesser known guys on their roster, they have Cole Anthony, who is a great young scorer that anyone would love to have off their bench. He's just a kind of spark plug type player that every bench needs. And then they have a rookie in Jet Howard, who, like I said, is a rookie and is still very, very young, obviously. And although I don't think he's going to ever be a star or anything special, I think he's going to be a very solid rotational role player, and that is exactly what a team like the Orlando Magic need at the end of their bench. And I think Jet Howard just has semi-high potential, but he's more of a higher floor guy, lower ceiling, and I just think he's going to be a very solid player for years and years to come at a very cheap contract as well, and I think that is very valuable for a kind of underachieving Magic team for the past few years that is looking to get back in the playoff picture in the next few. And the biggest thing about this is that they're already very solid players at very young ages, meaning that they only have room to develop. The younger your roster is, while still being able to be good players, is extremely valuable, because a lot of teams will just go for straight youth, but that youth isn't actually very talented at the time, and they don't have that much potential. But you can't really say that for any of the Magic's young guys. I mean, like Paolo, very high potential. Franz, very high potential. Anthony Black, extremely high potential. Fultz, very high. Wendell, and you can just go down the list, and they all have very high potential while already being solid players in their own aspects of the game. So I think that is very, very valuable, and I think the Orlando Magic, if they can stay on this trajectory of development and getting young talent and maybe even adding some more veteran proven talent, this team, I think in the future, if their stars develop into the stars that they could be, I think could legitimately be one of the better teams in the entire NBA. But unfortunately, guys, that's more for this video. So comment below. Do you agree with me? Do you think that the Orlando Magic have an extremely bright future? What do you think they're going to end up being? On your thoughts in the comment section below. Hit the like button, hit the like button, and subscribe button. Mean the absolute word to me. And I hope you have a blessed day. I have a blessed day. So you need to have a blessed day. All glory to God. See you next video. Goodbye. Boo. Blah.